Hello, everyone. My name is Foolish Lee, Colonel Foolish Lee. I recently joined the Army, the Salvation Army. Yeah, I've been living in poverty for a few years now. Uh, about 51% or more of single people in the United States are going without sex. Well, that makes me feel a hell of a lot better because 99.9% of us old fuckers are still going without. But I can't complain. My sex life has improved a lot. I recently had sex with a stranger. I know, living life on the wild side. Yeah, it was my left hand. Normally, I'm just a right-handed dude, pretty monogamous, but this time I decided to go a little crazy. It was almost as good as sex with the twins, both hands. But I recently met a beautiful woman. She completes me, although she's plastic and a little full of air. On the box, the initials SD were there, and I thought it stood for Sexy Diana, but in fact it stood for Stormy Daniels. I later found that out when she left me for the Donald Trump doll at the last NRA convention. I should have known better because she was always extorting me for lunch money. Anyhow, I said good riddance to her. But don't be sad for me because I met a beautiful woman at the store. Our eyes locked, and I think it was love at first sight. But she's plastic and a little full of air. I mean, I have to blow her up before I fill her up. Who knew that I'd become a full-service gas station attendant this late in life? She's getting a little kinky, though. She wants to have an orgasm, she already gets an orgasm. She wants to have a threesome with my Tickle Me Elmo doll, but I just said he would laugh through the whole thing. And then I suggested my Big Bird doll, and all the time she was complaining about his big nose, but between you and me, it wasn't always his big nose, if you know what I mean. So my wife recently returned, and she said either the doll or her has to go, and so the doll and I are making reservations to Vegas. But in Vegas, I caught my doll cheating. She was watching Barbie and Ken videos, and every time Ken came across the screen, well, he didn't really come across the screen. She was rubbing herself. So I convinced her to have a cigarette after sex one day, and I guess I must have filled her up with the wrong air. So it's just back to me. My mother phoned me the other day, and she said, I masturbate too much. And I said, hold that thought while I wipe my hands. She said she got a letter from Johnson & Johnson's, and it said that I was congratulations on my large investment. I said, I haven't made any investment. And she said, the letter says I'm the largest shareholder in baby oil. And I said, well, this must be a case of mistaken identity because, but if she wouldn't mind, would she replenish my monthly supply because it's getting kind of low? I really hate public washrooms. I mean, there's never anything to read. Like these... There's never a good shampoo bottle with some bad French on it. My biggest fear is running out of toilet paper. Like if you reach over and you've just finished doing your business and all of a sudden there's no toilet paper. And what are you supposed to do? Slip a $5 underneath the next stall and say, hey, buddy, there's a sale on Charmin. Would you mind buying me a roll and yourself a roll and some for the team? I hate public washrooms in the United States. They have these stupid things called toilet paper covers. I guess they're supposed to protect you from germs, but I never could figure out how to use them. And to this day, I still don't know how to use them. I think they should come with some kind of instruction booklet like the seatbelts on an airplane. I mean, I pulled one off and then it had all these perforated holes. I figured, hey, all the work's been done. I just got to rip out the rest of it. So I ripped out the rest of it. And when I put it down, the whole thing just fell right into the bowl. So it didn't protect anything. So I pulled down the next one. I'm like, hey, this must be some high-tech shit. I bet when I sit down, when I take a big one, you know, the shit's going to decompose the center and everything will be great. Well, let me tell you, it wasn't a pretty sight. Anyhow, have you ever had an experience when somebody sits beside you in another stall and starts giving you a running commentary of their business? I mean, I hope it was the only thing that was running. This guy was quite entertaining, though. He was doing it in the form of a baseball game. Pitcher winds up, strike one, and then he farts. Pitcher winds up again, strike two, and then he farts. Pitcher winds up again. This time the batter eyes the ball. He hits it, I hear a big plop. It's an infield fly. It's going high. It's going high. It's going higher. And the second baseman drops it. And the batter runs to first. Well, I wasn't sitting around to see who was on deck, and I sure the hell wasn't batting him home. Now, English has all these stupid expressions like take a leak and take a dump. Like, if you're like me, when you take a dump, you're actually leaving the dump. I'm not going to be taking a dump and then painting a still life of the half-eaten burrito I had the other night. I think the only people that take leaks are the ones that are American survivalists. They always think the world's coming to an end and they're going to need a clean source of water. Besides, American beer tastes like piss, doesn't it? There are so many common expressions that we take for granted. I mean, they all seem to have some kind of secret code in them. And I've gone through the liberty of decoding it for you, because I know you're lazy motherfuckers. So here's a list. First one, the pot calling the kettle black. All right. Now, this is an old one. If my kitchenware starts talking to each other, I'm going to hire a fucking exorcist. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. All right. Why not? I mean, they fit so much better in one basket and they're easier to carry. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah, but what if he's a smart fucker like Lassie and he knows all the old tricks? I guess you got to teach him some new ones, don't you? Let sleeping dogs lie. I let waking dogs lie. I never signed up for a career in the postal office. To look a gift horse in the mouth. Well, no doubt. Unless I have a whole year's supply of Tic Tacs, I'll be looking him in the eye. Thank you very much. Don't cry over spilt milk. Well, I don't cry over upright milk. But spilt milk, that's wasted milk, and I'm going to cry. Don't put the cart before the horse. Well, even I know that horses pull shit. They don't push shit. So if the cart's before the horse, well, you get the picture. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Yeah, well, I don't even want to know of one way to skin a cat. I mean, that's just fucking cruel. Besides that, I prefer my chow mein made from vegetables. He's a career criminal. Look, I know being a high school counselor isn't the best job, but I don't think there's any high school counselor that says to a student, hey, Jimmy, give up your school career and become a criminal. Your dad did all right robbing banks. It costs an arm and a leg. This is just morbid. I mean, who pays for their shit using body parts? Well, how much is that drone? Well, it's an arm and a leg. Well, last year was only a leg. Yeah, but there's inflation. It's easy as pie. So which pie is easy? And what pie is easier than the other pie? And is a pie walk a thing like a cakewalk? To hit the nail on the head. Well, where am I supposed to hit it? On the end? Hey, Tommy, these nails aren't going in very well. Well, I think if you turn them over and you put the pointy end towards the board, they might go better. Actions speak louder than words. Well, unless I'm smoking some really good weed, my actions just act. And my words, well, they sit quietly on the page. These two are sexual. Eager as a beaver. Look, I know a lot of beavers that are not very eager. They just do all the housework and wait around for the cock. To beat around the bush. Well, I think this is some kind of birth control advice. Don't go in the bush, just beat around it. And the final last expression is one of my favorites, to pull the wool over one's eyes. Now, if I got to pull the wool over my girlfriend's eyes, I got to think, A, I'm a farmer and she's a sheep. And that was a bad decision. Or B, she's an excessively hairy human being and pulling the wool over her eyes is not going to be much of an improvement. I'd probably just hand her a pair of shears. Well, all these expressions in English have become even more confusing due to this PC movement. I mean, you can't even call anything what it is. You have to use these soft words, these euphemisms to describe them. For example, I was watching the show Fantasy Island, and I said, this midget came on and he said, hey, boss, the plane. Did I just say midget? Oh, I'm sorry, I meant little person. Well, anyhow, we've gotten rid of all these dwarf tossing contests. Oops, did I just say dwarf tossing? I meant little people flight simulation exercises. And you can't call a person short. Oh, did I just say short? I meant vertically challenged. And if she's fat, did I just say fat? oops, I meant horizontally challenged. But sometimes you really hear some stupid things from stupid people and you want to say, wow, that's retarded. Did I just say retarded? Oops, I meant one taco short of a combination plate. Well, anyhow, the good thing about the PC movement is it's really made our language very colorful. Whoops, did I just say a word with color? I meant vibrant. Well, growing old really sucks, okay? The only booty call I get is the one from the young porcelain lady I bought at the plumbing department at Home Depot. At my age, you don't think about keeping it up, you think about keeping it empty. My urologist is my sex therapist. I don't think he's a very happy man because he tells me he always is hanging around with all these old pricks and they're always pissing him off. Well, the other day, I was reminded of how really old I am. I woke up groggily. I went to the kitchen, started peeing. Now, in my defense, my garbage can is the same height as my toilet, and it's also the same color, and the lids open up the same way. But anyways, about halfway into the stream, I fucking realized what I was doing. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Now, I didn't just have a brain fart. I had a nuclear meltdown. I decided that I'm a bit out of shape. Like, it'd be nice to see my dick standing up. Not my dick standing up, but me standing up. Even my balls are getting mad. They're complaining about all these new species of mushrooms that are growing. My dick is suffering from one-eyed blindness. I think I'm gonna do something about this. And I bought last year I bought a beautiful gym bag. Every year it gets that much closer to the front door. Last year it was in the upstairs bedroom. But hey, it's still empty, but I intend to fill it with some fitness shit. The stuff that you guys like to work out with. I guess shoes would be a start. Hey, but it's the cleanest bag in the house. It looks like it's never been used. And come to think of it, it never has been used. Women can encourage you, right? At my last gig, they all tore off their lingerie and threw it on the stage. Well, unfortunately, it was their Depends, that bladder prevention undergarment. I had to fire that manager because he kept on booking me into retirement homes. But as I grow older, I think about lots of things, and it's just not only about my dick. 1% of the time I think about other things such as one-syllable words. Like these one-syllable words like run, jump, train, jog, hike, climb, lift, all seem to require too much work. And they're even hard-sounding words. I prefer words that end in shun, like vacation, relaxation, meditation. These are all three-syllable words. And the granddaddy of them all, procrastination, my favorite. I think I would probably have more sex if it didn't require so many one-syllable words. You either got to push, pull, climb or mount, dive or lick, and not necessarily in that order. All for that one beautiful state of mind, orgasm, which, by the way, is a three-syllable word. This new tech is awfully confusing to me. I didn't know what Tinder was until my son put it on my phone. I opened it up and I thought it was a side-scrolling video game. Every time I swiped right, my character didn't move across the screen. But I found out that all I was doing was just accept, and now I owe replies to about 100 people. I guess if you're sometimes you text with people who have no idea what texting is. Like my wife, she creates all her special abbreviations. I have no fucking idea what they mean. The other day I was chatting with her and she texted SYS. So I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So next time I started chatting with her, I said, what does SYS mean? She goes, it means see you soon. I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. Then she gets all hurt. Like I was supposed to know her secret texting language. Look, I didn't sign up to be her personal code breaker, and I'm certainly not accepting didn't accept a role in the Nicolas Cage war movie, The Wind Talkers. I might look a little native, but Adam Beach's role is pretty safe. Well, I heard that you can use texting to show anger. You can use capitalization, and if you're really angry, you add some angry emojis. So anyhow, I got this text from a friend. I'm like, I drove over to his house. He said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I said, well, you sent me an angry text. And he goes, "No, I didn't." I go, "Yeah, you did." And the capitalization I can tolerate, but once you added those angry emojis, buddy, you stepped way over the line. Anyhow, I asked him to step outside, but we were already outside. Well, one thing that really confuses me, and there's a lot of things that confuse me at this age, is who are they? I mean, we have these experts that always say shit like milk isn't good for you, or too much milk isn't good for you, or not enough milk isn't good for you. And what is it? Too much milk or not enough milk? I don't know. My theory is that these guys are a bunch of out-of-work comics, probably some of your friends that are not in this room tonight. And they're sitting around this big hat and drawing out these statements randomly. Okay, so like Division says we got to come up with a new statement. Okay, well, why don't we show a connection between cheese and cancer? No, we use that one. That's Tim's. Well, okay, why don't we say that not eating cheese causes cancer? Yeah, that's a good one. I like your kind of thinking. That'll really fuck them up. Then they have a good laugh, and then they go back to finding another use for the rubber chicken. Thank you. That's the end of my show.